Welcome to the Jaren Jarvis channel. I am Jaren Jarvis. Today, I would like to introduce to you, She Never Screamed Before. What the actual fuck? The fact that I can type this with my hands shaking this badly is nothing short of a miracle. The police just left after stopping by to take a look around my house and collect a statement, but it doesn't make me feel much better. It doesn't help that I'm already the paranoid type. Everything I read on the Nextdoor app I immediately think is going to happen at my house. Ding dong ditch, car break-in, you name it. That's why I installed one of those video camera doorbells to ward off solicitors and hopefully deter any unwanted activity. It used to give me peace of mind, but I'm getting ahead of myself. My boyfriend and I were driving through our neighborhood late last night after finally getting to enjoy each other's company on a date. He's been busy with a new job and I have been bogged down with school lately, just normal life stuff. Our neighborhood is a pretty decent size situated in suburbia just outside of San Antonio. It's peacefully quiet for the most part and takes us a few minutes to get home through the winding streets and low speed limit. As we were driving down the main entrance we heard a faint noise in the distance. Greg and I both caught each other's perplexed gaze. The only noise we ever hear is the train in the distance, which admittedly sounds different each night. I feel bad for those poor souls in the very back of the neighborhood, their yards back right up to those tracks. Greg cracked his window and the noise was clear as day. Somebody was screaming. Not a joyous sounding scream from kids in the summertime playing outside, but a noise of terror and distress. Greg immediately takes a hard right down the next street towards the sound of the noise as I fumble with the phone, preparing to call 911. As we approach the end of the block, I can make out a figure on the corner of the intersection. He's on both knees pounding on the ground, but the screaming has stopped. Now the noise has turned into something else, maybe a phrase? I can't tell just yet. As we get closer I realize he's dressed as a clown. Oh my god, Greg grumbles in disgust. People are still doing this stupid clown shit. I was already trembling and I asked him to just turn around and go home, but he insisted he wanted to run this idiot kid off. I swear every time he pounded the ground with his fist I could feel the thud in my chest. She never screamed before. She never screamed before. Was I hearing this correctly? Joke or not, we had to go. Please turn around, I could barely choke the words out. Please. It was too late. We were right in front of him, headlights glaring. He stood up and stared with a ridiculous grin on his face. I couldn't tell if it was the makeup or if this lunatic was actually smiling. He sprinted to the car and started slamming on the hood. She never screamed before. I whimpered and dropped my phone under the seat as Greg put the car in reverse and tore out of there. He whipped through the neighborhood and got us home and we ran inside. Call the police, I'm going to get my gun, Greg yelled as he sprinted up the stairs. My phone, my phone. Where the fuck was my phone? Having a slight moment of clarity I remembered I had dropped it in the car. As I turned back towards the front of the house the door burst open with a loud crash. It was the clown. He looked me in the eyes and with a low deep voice, almost a gurgle noise as if someone was drowning, he said it again. She never screamed before. Wake up, I heard something. Greg was lightly tapping my shoulder. No fucking way, there's no way that was a dream. I felt so real. I heard something downstairs. We make our way down the stairs and find the front door wide open. My heart sank. I have heard of dreams that mimic actual events in some way, but this was surreal. Greg called the police and we barricaded ourselves in the room until they got there. They didn't discover anything unusual and there were no signs of forced entry. Now I'm sitting here with the blankets drawn over my head trying to process my thoughts. Of course Greg was fast asleep already. Nothing ever rattled him. I guess opposites do attract. Wait. The video doorbell captures motion. The device records about a minute each time the motion is triggered, so there's bound to be something useful. In all the chaos I completely forgot about it, no surprise on my end, and it makes sense that the cops didn't notice it since it was still dark. I fumble around on the nightstand so I can check the app, but my phone isn't in its usual spot. Oh well, I grab Greg's phone instead. Yup, Mr. Never Scared of Anything hasn't even bothered to download the app. At this point I can't recall where the hell I put my phone, so I open the Friend Finder app on Greg's phone. It's pinging my device near the house. The driveway. My phone is in the car. I sat there for what felt like hours trying to muster up the courage to go and retrieve my phone. Once I stepped onto the front porch, I saw the familiar faint glow from my doorbell. This happens when motion is detected, so I knew it was working correctly. This gave me a weird sense of hope and fear for what I might find. The car seemed like it was miles away, and it was so quiet outside that every crunch of my footstep gave me a slight startle. For some reason the car was unlocked. This is unusual because I'm always so paranoid someone is going to break into it. My uneasiness increased every second I spent searching, since my back is turned on the seemingly peaceful night behind me. I have never felt so vulnerable. I finally find it, under the seat. Trust me, this coincidence isn't lost on me, and I snatch it up and sprint back to the house. 3 new motion alerts. 1:39 a.m., 1:56 a.m., and now. I recall the cops being here around 2 a.m. and the current alert is obviously me retrieving my phone. My finger is trembling as I swipe the first alert to view it, praying that it's just the door randomly swinging open. Seems rational, right? Right? The video starts with our car bursting into the driveway, way faster than we should be traveling. At this point I have tears welling up in my eyes as I watch Greg and I frantically get out of the vehicle and sprint inside, looking back behind us several times. We get inside, and at this point I'm bawling as the video continues with a peaceful stillness at the front of our house. I don't remember going anywhere. It had been a dream. The video is just about to end when it captures a figure slowly moving up the driveway. The video stops and I'm looking at a still shot of someone or something. I need Greg. I'm trying to scream, but I can't.